Armored Core 6 is right around the corner, and if you're like me, you haven't played any of them because the last one came out 10 years ago on a console that came out 17 years ago that you only bought to play Metal Gear Solid 4 and GTA 5 before it released 30 more times. This was before From Software took a decade off from flying million-pound robots to create a generation of masochists with Dark Souls and other similarly sadistic titles. But if you are interested in the long history of their previous work and you don't want to go sort through the dusty stacks of your local retro game store or risk minutes of effort with an emulator, you can do what I did and watch this guy's 90-minute journey through all 15 previous games. However, if you want a more modern take on this style of game, I've tried out 3 titles you can check out right now that might get you in tune with what the new Armored Core is sort of just a bit like. The first title, and one of the more obviously inspired Armored Core style games, is Demon X Machina. This 2019 Switch release made its way to PC in 2020 and brought with it those wonderful Switch visuals to provide you with dozens of missions where you can almost discern what's happening on screen. What it lacks in visual fidelity though, it makes up for with action as you blast and slash everything on screen while boosting around in deadly mechs crushing sentient AI that are attempting to take over or perhaps destroy the entire world, as well as anyone who happens to swoop in just to try to kick your ass for some reason. From what we've seen from Armored Core 6, this definitely provides some similar mecha mayhem, along with a bunch of weapon and armor management that you can use to both look and feel like the nerd you'll need to be to enjoy an Armored Core game. You'll also get to sit through copious amounts of JRPG people dialogue before, during, and after missions. Sometimes you'll even complete the entire mission before they finish whatever random conversation the developers felt you'd be paying attention to while raining missile barrages from the heavens onto every moving object in sight. You can also pick up weapons and parts from downed enemies in the middle of a fight and pretend like no one will notice while you get shot in the face. Or just grab a car and chuck it for a cool explosion. The best part though is that you might already own this game if you're keen on grabbing every Epic Store free game because this one was given away back in January of 2022. Another far less known and far more grounded title is Mechates Nightmare. Without 10,000 lines of anime character dialogue, you may wonder what you'll be doing with your free time. You probably won't be surprised that you'll be using that free time to once again customize a towering mech from a sea of individual parts to suit your violent personal preferences. However, instead of other mechs and mech-adjacent machines, you'll be pointing those weapons at a metric shitload of weird gigantic monster creatures that are sweeping across the earth. While this is more of a blend of Earth Defense Force than just Armored Core, you'll still feel pretty damn cool raining death upon waves of horrific monsters, at least in between the times you're running in terror for self-preservation. If you're looking for something that launches your nimble mech body back into the sky though, you might want to head a little further back to Project Nimbus. This title relies on speed and a tiny wall of confusing special abilities to have you tearing through waves of enemies that barely even register on the screen outside of the gigantic locking reticles that form around them as you shred their metallic bodies with missiles and machine gun fire. With that thick stack of abilities for you to run through, your toughest task is simply to make the best use of your arsenal for efficient destruction of every enemy in your way across this strange variety of maps. You'll also get to take on the role of different characters for seemingly no reason and with no warning, but you'll always get to enjoy this elaborate animated mission briefing, so you'll be easily distracted from the fact that you're playing as the enemy you just captured in your last mission. This is the least expensive of all of these choices, but it's also the oldest, releasing in 2017. In the world of video games, 6 years can be quite a while, sometimes a whole console generation. But when we haven't seen an Armored Core in nearly twice that long, you have to take what you can get. None of these are carbon copies of Armored Core, and each takes its own slight divergence onto its own path. Yet they do have qualities from some of the previous games, and I figure unless someone fucked up, they probably have plenty of the qualities from Armored Core 6. So if you want to see if you're interested in this upcoming hype locomotive, or just want to get some practice shooting and slashing giant mechs with giant mechs, these are some of your handful of options on PC. Or you can just go in blind and wonder why this new From Software game isn't Elden Ring 2.